me get this line. Wave. My life been looking gorgeous. Take one day at a time, I pray I never have to force it. Got bad women for me, tell they man he need to forfeit. I'm standing with the torch gripped in my hand, I'm hella calm, the other palm hold my fortune. I live ready to die, my mama hate me sounding morbid. Growing up, my daddy got caught up in chasing fortune. He probably be more.
Alright guys, welcome back to another video here. We're working on the Blizzard, and we're going to get the motor set in there, motor and transmission set in there, and then we'll get a transmission crossmember built when the parts come in. But it is, what time is it? It is Monday? Say Monday?
Like 11.
What time is it? It's Monday.
Time is Monday.
Time is Monday.
There's no days off and there's no time off because it's 11 o'clock and we are just getting started here. Matt is cutting off the tabs from the old mid-plate mount. We're going to put a new mid-plate mount in there for the LS. What else we can do? Get the motor set in there.
Motor set in, maybe
bolt up.
We can't really do the transmission.
Well, we can bolt the transmission up to it, and then I could just put a.
It just seems like a.
Nope, it's going in there as one unit. It's going in there as a unit.
Yeah, so that way we can just take it back out while it's in the car.
Because no, I'm bolting the converter up and everything. I'm bolting it all up. It's all going in there for its final assembly.
I always like to work around a transmission when I'm doing the chassis.
I forgot. Also, we have decided that we are going to add some bars.
I eat pears now and shit like that. Shout out to all the pears.
Now, I said I wanted a true double frame rail, okay? But Matt's like, no, it's going to be like one of those modified single frame rail shits. I don't know. You guys comment below and tell me what you think. Full-blown double frame rail. Explain to the difference. What's the difference between a double and a single frame rail?
Well, a single has one frame rail and a double has two.
Follow Matt for more life hacks. I'd say like this week on this thing is if we can get the engine, the transmission, and all the bars in the car where it's like set in there solid mounted, get a measurement for drive shaft, to get that done, and like our powertrain's pretty much done. Then we can work on. I want to build headers for it. I don't know how everyone else feels about that. I'm not driving this thing without zoomies.
9 months later.
I'm gonna do it quicker than that.
We have OP.
I'm gonna do it quicker
8
than
months.
that. Even if they have to come out the hood, if I just give up.
The problem with zoomies on anybody that knows anything about building headers is Fox chassis is when you have the actual stock suspension stuff and the K member like this one, there's not a lot of room to go out the rear.
It's not like a stiletto K member. It's like a standard issue like.
Yeah,
K
so
member.
out the front, I mean, I guess you do zoomies out the front. I've never.
That's what my plan was. Also, some things we have to be like aware about is, obviously got a Pro Charger up there. I need to run an oil pump off of something, and I need to have a fuel pump off of something. So, and probably have a fuel tank somewhere. So, you put zoomies in there.
You got a lot of other
shit
shit going on.
So you can't make ramen zoomies this time?
No, it probably will have to be ramen zoomies just to get them where they need to be. So, yeah, so that's what we got going on today. This evening, I want to get the motor in there. That's the plan. Also, I'm looking for wheels. I'm looking for a set of polished 17-inch front spindle mounts for what? Just a racecraft spindle, like a Mustang spindle.
I don't know which ones these spindles are. We'd have to measure them because they're just like
4 different kinds of spindles.
Yeah.
And then I'm looking for a 15 by 12 4-inch backspace, 5 by 4.5 rear wheel polished. So
double beadlock.
Yeah, double beadlock. So I know what backspacing I need. I haven't been set in stone or anything.
If somebody's watching this, I would love a pair of gloves. I don't usually do all the cutting voluntary without gloves.
Sure.
All right, y'all. So we are here with the Blizzard still. It is, what time is it? It is 12:45, and we got I'd say the layout of the mid plate pretty much in there. A lot of measuring again, measuring third time, getting angles. Luckily, we have Eddie Murphy right here to go off of because they're both like stock body Fox bodies, and that one has an LS swap K member, so like all the thinking's kind of done for it. You just bolt it right up. So we're going back and forth off that, getting the measurements to make sure that we're putting everything in the right location. Matt, I don't know if you want to speak a little bit on some of the angles and stuff that we're going over.
Yeah, it's kind of difficult on this because it's on jack stand. Normally you'd have it on a chassis jig or on the ground where you can measure your chassis or your engine center line for your crank, but we can't do that. So now we're just kind of looking at that car, measuring from the cowl to the top bell housing bolt. We set everything in there. Got to clean the frame up, do a little bit of welding tomorrow. It's pretty close. We'll do that. We'll clean the mid plate up after that and kind of smooth it up, and then measure the distance between the motor, put the mid plate in there, put the motor plate in there, make sure that it's not bowed or, you know,
warped.
Yeah, so you don't want to have like your engine's 24 inches from bell housing mating surface to the front where your mid or motor plate is, and your plates are 23 and a half or 24 and a half, and the thing's
getting pulled and floppy. Yep. And when you unbolt it, it tries to fall off the dowels and shit like that.
Yeah, you don't want that.
No, we don't want that. So we got her going in there, but it is, I know this is not an exciting video that you guys are probably jumping for joy, but this is part of the long nights here at the shop, getting everything in there. I think that once we get the motor and transmission set in there and the other frame rail run, I mean, I think it's probably going to come together pretty quick.
Yeah, we need to get it all mocked in there and then probably pull it back out, because we don't want to be doing that frame rail with
everything in there. Yep.
So we got a little sidetracked earlier, so we haven't been super productive.
Oh, have we been sidetracked? There's good progress on this build. I got everything like wrapped up now, but the adapter that we spoke about previously for the balance that we're running sent to Kyle at New Era, he's already got the new one done, and it's actually shipping out to us tomorrow. So when we get that back, we'll be able to really start bolting everything on, and I think it's going to be helpful to get everything kind of bolted on in there, so you kind of have a general layout of where we can run things and how it's going to route, and kind of get a game plan of what we need to put this thing together. One thing I do want to do is I want to have 2 seats in the car. I want to have it safe for 2 people to ride down track. I know it's kind of like a touchy subject for people to be like, oh, ride-alongs, but I think that's a unique opportunity for someone to experience, you know, let's say,
you know, you don't have to go full tilt. I mean, you can go 490 pass or something.
A lot of people don't get to experience that.
No, that'd be great. They would be good.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of where I want to go with this. I think the car, we all know, would be competitive, you know, at some of these shootouts and
yeah, 28. I mean, you gotta think, all these shootouts. I mean, some of these guys, they can go fast, but in the shootouts they don't. I mean, you get some guys that, you know, they might be able to go 430s, but in a shootout they might be going 480s.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just really what you want to do is just find the
and I think I want to use this vehicle more as like a tool for the channel. We go out, race it, a couple different people drive it, do some ride-alongs with it. It's going to be loud, it's going to be rowdy, it's going to be attention getter.
Yeah, maybe no prep, who knows.
Yeah, who knows? I mean, just go out there and have some fun with it. So that's the plan, but Matt's putting in some work on this thing. I don't think people understand how much work it is to properly put a motor in there.
We had to clean a bunch of stuff up and just measuring it, make sure everything's right. Especially, like I said, if you got it on a chassis jig, then you have a baseline where you can measure off of. A lot of this stuff's a lot more simpler. But now with it in the air, jack stands, the car's a little crooked, there's a lot more measuring that has to take place to make sure that everything is square. So
if I were doing it, I'd have the motor in there about 2 weeks ago, and it'd be wrong, and we'd be talking about redoing it now. So I guess it's important to measure twice and 3 times and get it right. So all right, back here in the shop, it is the next day. It's almost noon, so I better get that video out. And we just got back from, went to Harbor Freight. What do you call it? The Wuhan.
The Wuhan washer.
We got a Wuhan washer. So we picked up a bunch of stuff, trying to be more efficient around here. So we picked up a bunch of wrenches, sockets. We got a whole other toolbox that actually came out of the stacker we got from Cletus. So we're filling that up to stay here, and we're going to use this orange toolbox mainly to go on the road with. But one thing we needed desperately was a parts washer and a sonic cleaner for filters,
parts, small parts,
anything like that. So you want to give them a tour of our new cleaning department?
Yeah.
Now, guys, it was in the budget. You know, Harbor Freight, it's all we can afford. So
we did spend like $800 at Harbor Freight. So
yes.
So we got a filter here. Came out of the fill filter. It's an ultrasonic cleaner. If nobody's ever seen one. They sell some more expensive ones, but these are about 80 bucks, and they work pretty good. So if you have any kind of stainless filter or any parts that have very intricate parts or very tight tolerances or something like injectors, these are good. You can put the injector down in here and pulse it, and while it's running, and it actually will clean it pretty well. So we'll go ahead and pull this filter out. This is the one that had all the brass shavings or bronze shavings from the bronze bushing in the pump. So you can see here, it's actually it's pretty clean. There's some
couple of the blue little pieces in there.
Yeah, some of this stuff is just because it attaches itself to the stainless. But as far as any kind of metal shavings or brass shavings, I don't see anything.
And this right here, the bottom of this is full of the now mind you, I already sprayed this out. I already sprayed it out with brake clean and tried to get it clean, so it looked clean to the eye. But I don't know if you guys can see in there all the sediment and everything on the bottom. That's what would have went back into the fuel system. So
yeah, you want to try to turn it on and see if it.
Yeah, you see it move around. They're all dancing. So. Yep. And then we got a nice big parts washer. So something we didn't have. We got our drum of Schaefer's oil, which we love. Got a oil pump here. So we're like all high tech now. We're trying to be more efficient and have all the right tools. It's a lot easier to do the job when you have the right tools.
Yep, do it right. That way, you know, because I mean, you can only spray this out so good. So
like I said, I sprayed it before and all that stuff came out of it. So
yeah,
feel a whole lot better putting that back into the.
Yeah, if you use like rubbing alcohol and it's clear, you can really see it's once you clean it, you're like, damn, like there's a lot of shit in there. So we're good. We got a bunch of other tools we're going to be putting in the toolbox. Got a new engine hoist. Got all kinds of stuff. We're going to order a bunch of parts. We're going to work on Slick Rick.
Yeah, that's coming in tomorrow's video. Slick Rick.
Slick Rick.
All right, send him out of here.
Let's go. Let's do some work.
He gets the bodies round. John Doc got the bodies round. The black sheep on the property. He got the bodies to the next round.